get away with it. And that we will in fact find weapons or evidence of weapons programs that are conclusive.
I don't think we'll discover anything myself.
It appears that there were not weapons of mass destruction.
You said you knew where they were.
I did not. You know where they are. They're in the area around Tikrit and Baghdad and east, west, south, and north. Well, first of all, I haven't lied.
There are a lot of people who lie and get away with it.
Talking about lies and your allegation that there was bulletproof evidence of ties between Al-Qaeda and Iraq. Was that a lie?
Intelligence gathered by this and other governments leaves no doubt that the Iraqi regime continues to possess and conceal some of the most lethal weapons ever devised.
Are people going to find out the truth? And the truth will say that this intelligence is good intelligence, no doubt in my mind.
I don't know anybody that I can think of who has contended that the Iraqis had nuclear weapons.
I don't believe he has, in fact, reconstituted nuclear weapons.
Saddam Hussein is determined to get his hands on a nuclear bomb.
We cannot wait for the final proof.
He's got them. He's got them.
The smoking gun.
He's got them.
It could come in the form of a mushroom cloud.
Colin Powell didn't lie.
My colleagues, every statement I make today is backed up by sources, solid sources. These are not assertions. What we're giving you are facts and conclusions based on solid intelligence.
He has not developed any significant capability with respect to weapons of mass destruction. He is unable to project conventional power against his neighbors.
Are people going to find out the truth?
I have not suggested there's a connection between Iraq and the 9/11.
You have said in the past that it was, quote, pretty well confirmed.
No, I never said that.
Okay. I think that is...
Absolutely not. What I said was, it's been pretty well confirmed that he did go to Prague and he did meet with the senior official of the Iraqi intelligence service.
Saddam Hussein aids and protects terrorists, including members of Al-Qaeda. Secretly, we have fingerprints that could provide one of the said weapons to terrorists or help them develop them.
Physiological and behavioral screening technologies to streamline the screening process at security checkpoints.
Terror target cities here have been busy installing surveillance cameras, and now Washington, D.C. is upgrading their system. W cities are putting into place state-of-the-art technology.
Now! Now standing in the shoes of a Cincinnati police officer, seeing what he sees as a dangerous encounter unfolds.
Plan anything about Friday the 13th because it was like an afterthought, but there is quite a bit of history and importance to the number 13 and how it becomes unlucky and the way that they utilize the
unlucky 13.
The unlucky 13.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th being bad luck,
where
actually, that's debatable. In fact,
well, 13 to the ones who follow the Kabbalah and everything, it's a lucky number. If you ask Madonna, 13's lucky number.
Yeah.
So depending on where you're looking at it, but Friday the 13th comes from the Masons in, I believe it was France, and the king was tired of the Templars and the Masons were getting so much money and so much power that the king of France basically declared, like, sort of like Hitler, just one night just go and swoop up a bunch of people. Most of the important Masons, got the heads up and got out with most of their treasure, but a lot of Masons were caught, and like everything else in history, we know about things because it happened to the Masons or the Masons were involved. So Friday the 13th, where they make it like a spooky witch thing or a Halloween type of thing, it's just another Mason holiday or a Mason history lesson.
Interesting. Isn't that ironic, though, how those that are out to enslave us now passing NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, 1031, 1032. Remember Obama said that he was going to veto the bill, and then, you know, on a smile and a layup, he passed it.
Yeah.
Signed it. So now, basically, what happened actually, ironically, to the Templar, or could happen to... to the American people. That's ironic that the evil comes. It's like almost like, well, we'll do the same thing to you that you did to us, or or to the lack of a better word. I mean, after all, the reason that the Illuminati was quote unquote disbanded or whatever.
They were getting too strong.
Yeah, but again, and their actual a book was read. With their actual intentions, where it tells you what their intentions are, and that's the reason why we're all, when you really realize what their intentions are, it's world domination. Obviously, that would be a threat to not only to a monarchy, but to humanity. Interesting. But what a great way to just digress from the news. A lot of news, Vinny. Why don't you start with some news today? We have quite a bunch of things going on.
Before I read, why don't we talk about? I mean, the big thing that I keep to me is the soldiers. In Afghanistan, I think it was like 4 soldiers urinating on dead Taliban.
Yeah, more war propaganda. Yeah, they're showing this...
another black eye for America.
Yeah.
Sort of like Guantanamo Bay, where they released the pictures and that was leaked out, and you see them putting them, again, in a pyramid was one of them. And, you know, the abuse that they were doing to the people there, but here it is, you got dead bodies and they're just urinating on them. The Afghan president was not happy and made a statement that it was like inhumane treatment, I believe was his quote. And again, it's just a black eye. It's to make us look like look bad. And while there's probably a lot of soldiers that aren't bad guys and would never do that, this is the stigma that'll be shown to everywhere all over the world. You know, not so much here because it's controlled, but believe me, on Al Jazeera TV and BBC and other places, you know, it's going to be a lot bigger than it is here.
It's still controlled, but you do see a lot more news if you get outside of the controlled mainstream media of America. But, you know, again, what it really is I think it's more like, again, it's this, this is another example of, like, the globalists, you know, when they chop off their own foot to, like, profit in the, I mean, they'll do that. So in other words, you have a situation where this makes us look really bad, and of course we want out of there. And
it fuels to the hate.
It fuels hate.
You might have more, maybe Arab that, you know, a younger Muslim out there who wasn't really.
You see, if there's hate,
see something like that could really make you hate.
Right. If there's hate, then there could be people that'll take action against that hatred. If you oppress people, you know, severely, you know, killing them, pissing on them,
on dead people,
you could really anger some folks into action, right? So that can do these crazy things, like, oh, you mean sort of like Israel, who just got caught throwing a magnetic bomb on the car to blow up the scientist in Iran. That's in our stack of news. But again, there's so much stuff going on. But this is it. This is what is going on. You see that also the soldiers that actually participated in this, there's a psychological profile testings that are done actually in high schools, and they profile these people, and the best soldiers for the government's point of view are the ones that just follow orders and do what they're told. And believe me, the U.S. military knows who those people are.
Yeah, done with the testing and everything.
Correct. And 29 Palms came out with, years ago about that with the Marines, and that they asked if you were asked to fire upon the American people or to take away their guns or anything like that, what is your opinion? Would not do it, would never do it, would do it, have no opinion. I mean, and there were people that checked have no opinion. So those people are going right to the top of the list.
Oh, yeah.
All right? So they get put into these special brigades. This is not my opinion, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this is Truth Talk News, where you get the truth 24/7.
Well, I want to just add something, too, since we're the truth here. I want to expose a little truth, too, about the military that I just see it so much in things that I'm reading that I want to say this to the public. Another way is, again, if you're a Mason and in the military, you find out through a lot of people like a John Todd or Sprigmeyer will talk about it, but he wasn't one of them. But there were people that were, if you're a Mason in the military, you get special treatment also. Even in like Vietnam and things, if you were a Mason, you were called out, and they would send people that weren't Mason soldiers into a place to be killed. And if you were Mason, they had you out of there. And now this is definite, this is admitted, so this is something I want to say too, again, how it's just a
untold truths.
Chess game, and the pawns, if you're not a Mason, and you're just a, you know, a guy there fighting for freedom or fighting for money, whatever it is that you signed up for.
Well, everyone who signs up, they want to help their country. They want to protect, they want to fight for their country. Not realizing that our country, ladies and gentlemen, has been hijacked by criminals, criminal bankers that make war for corporate profit. So there is no threat to our liberties except from our government. And there is no more evidence than that, than all of these laws that are passed consistently and constantly and increasingly. Well, listen, if they're going to attack us, we're going to attack them back. And we've got some great ways to attack them back. Now, We Are Change Connecticut now is the official owner of informedradio.com. And we're going to spread the truth. And the biggest collaboration that we could ever have is thanks to a good friend on my Facebook and a true fighter for liberty is Roger Landry, 6 to 8, Roger Landry of the We Are the People Network on Facebook. So then, you know, excuse me, that was my wife not realizing I was on the air. Okay, anyhow, I just totally lost my train of thought, thank you. We the People Network, yeah, so anyway, We the People Network reaches on Facebook. What it is it's a tremendous effort that he's put together with many, many people. They have 35,000 core members and hundreds of administrators. And what they've done is, as you know, when you have a group on Facebook, you're only limited to maybe 5,000 and they'll cut off the group. You can't add any more people.